Hey all, Bree from the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I have got a gift for you this holiday season. If you love the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I mean love the No Guilt Mom podcast, then tell us about it. Leave us a review, and you can be entered to win a No Guilt Mom gift card. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and then simply go to noguiltmom.com/review to enter our giveaway for a free No Guilt Mom gift card, simply for telling us what you think about the podcast. It is amazing. But don't delay. Get right on this, as we're going to be giving away that No Guilt Mom gift card on December 21st. So get right on over and visit noguiltmom.com/review.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, joined by my wonderful co-host, the Bree Tucker.
Bum, bum, bum. Hello, everybody.
We're getting a little loopy. We just had a dance party to Cake by the Ocean.
I know, right?
Was it a dance party or was it a DNCE party?
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
When you get loopy.
Job.
Yeah, no.
Good job. Oh my gosh. It has been a crazy week.
It's been crazy. Kids are on spring break here, and having kids at home while trying to work has been crazy.
And you would think that we'd have this down, because you've been doing this for 7 years now.
Yeah, but every time they come home, it's
something new.
It just breaks up the routine. I mean, just to give you an example, we were going from a podcast interview this morning, and then I went into a meeting for this mastermind I'm in. But at that time, both of our girls are over right now, and they came in the room. They're like, "What do we have for lunch?" Really, it was not first, "What do we have for lunch?" It's, "Hey, it's our first 80-degree day in all winter. Can we go in the pool?"
Oh, yeah, because you got your pool redone.
We got our pool redone.
And so, of course, it's pretty and they want to hop in.
And it's 55 degrees in the water right now. I mean,
maybe at best.
Some people up north will be like, "Yeah, 80 degrees. Definitely. That's when you get in the pool." But here in Arizona, we're like, no. Solid 100.
No, nothing. Anything under 100, that water is still too cold.
Yeah. So they were coming in and they're like, pool, why not? And I'm like, I'm trying to listen. And then they're like, food. No, we don't want that food. We don't want that food. We don't really know what we want for food.
Because to make it even better, my daughter got braces yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So her mouth hurts. And she's like, "I can't eat anything by the way." It was just awful.
And then the restaurant we decided on, they went downstairs to tell my son, and he didn't like that. And he started throwing pillows at his sister. And so we heard screaming from downstairs. And then the dog comes in.
Yeah.
It's just one thing after another.
Yeah. It's been a regular 3-ring circus here so far today. So, hey.
But that's great.
But that's the life of an entrepreneur, and especially those that are working from home.
Yes,
right?
Working from home. If you're working from home, you probably know our struggles today. At least they were pretty good natured today. There weren't too many meltdowns. That's really the emotionally draining aspect of it, is when my kids have meltdowns and I'm trying to get work done.
Yeah, screaming and crying and
flailing.
And
then I'm like, good. I hate my life when I do that.
Yeah, I had some of the drama earlier in the week, but you already heard me talking about that. So it was a better day today. I'll take them. You take them as you get them. Am I right, moms?
So,
right?
Yeah, if you have drama, we're right there with you.
Oh, my Lord.
But our guest, Denise Duffield-Thomas, she is also a working mom, which I think, you know what, if we're going to call it working moms, we're going to use working dads as well. Because
I think that's right.
And all men who have children are thus from this moment on referred to as working dads.
I like that. We need to take it back, man.
My husband is a working dad. Because, man, you do. Because when you use that term working mom, it almost assumes that if you're a mom, you shouldn't work. And there's some difference in you being a mom and working. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or just talking about how it makes it sound like there is a different class that you're in.
Yeah.
And I think that all moms have a hard job, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, we were reading The Year of Yes right now by Shonda Rhimes for our balance coaching club. And if you haven't heard us talk about balance before, we have a coaching program for moms, and it's the most fun thing ever. And we have a monthly book club as part of it. But something that Shonda Rhimes mentions in Year of Yes, which is also phenomenal, is that she refers to moms that mom is not a job. Mom is who you are. Mom is your identity. You'll never stop being a mom. You could quit your job. that you work at, but you'll never stop being a mom. So she gets she takes offense at being told that like motherhood's a job, because it's so much more than that. And I agree, it's so much more than that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It is one of those things that you think that it's going to be so easy until you become one.
Yeah.
And then you start to get a handle on what's happening. You start to get your routines down, and then bam, they get older. All new struggles, all new routines.
I'm actually enjoying the older kids more than I ever did the baby years.
You were sleep deprived through the baby years. I mean, we are deprived of showers, basic hygiene, our food choices, and sleep a lot. I mean, in many countries, that is torture.
Yes.
Early motherhood is torture.
But okay, so I might get a lot of emails for this one, but like when they were baby and toddlers, you just were not as interesting to me.
I think it depends on your interest. So like we've talked about that, how mine is early childhood, yours is older, like slightly older, like 5th grade was your sweet spot, right? So when my kids were under 5, while I was exhausted and tired, I still loved that aspect of it. I have struggled more to connect as they've gotten older.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I did not love that aspect of it. I love the age they're at now, and I like to probe them, which you probably saw me doing at lunch, because I was able to like just get them.
See, I can't do that. And you know that. We have these conversations every morning.
We were having this discussion at lunch, and both of our daughters are in 7th grade, and Brie and I learned a new vocabulary word. It's called, what was it called? Zoot? Zoot. I think it's called zoot. We're like, wait, what's that?
We already forgot it.
I think it's called zooted. I don't know. It means high. And so I really wanted to like know how much more they knew.
Oh, that's what you were trying to do.
That's what I was doing.
I'm like, I just wanted to know. Asking them questions about this. Can we just?
You're like, like, let's move on. And it's because like they're talking about a video they saw. I'm like, oh yeah, someone was so zooted or something. And we're like, what's zoot? She's like, oh, it's high. I'm like, high on what?
and then that was funny because they both had a blank look.
They had no idea.
We're like, oh.
Because I was like, I just wanted to know how much they knew. And obviously, it was just high.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the response I got on drugs.
As opposed to markers. I don't know.
I was actually going if they knew like the specific types of drugs and how much their knowledge was in that area, which I was thankful to hear that it was not much. But yeah. Anyways,
you didn't encourage any research.
I did not encourage research.
I said hopefully you didn't. Okay.
Even if they're researching on Google, I'm fine with that. And then coming to questions. But yeah. I find them fascinating. They're just fascinating.
And you know who else is fascinating?
Denise is fascinating.
And I have to also, yes, Denise is amazing. I was going to say, I also want to throw out like Denise's book was our book in our book club last month.
Yeah. And it was Get Rich, Lucky Bitch.
Which is a phenomenal book.
Yes, it is. And she reclaims the word bitch. So if you are like at all thinking like that's an offensive title, it's really reclaiming that and not having women be like, demeaned by it.
Yeah, not letting people demean us, use that word as an insult. Yeah. We take it back.
Yes, we take it back.
We use the power and we decide when and how it's going to be used.
So Denise Duffield-Thomas, she is a money mentor for the new wave of online entrepreneurs who want to make money and change the world. She helps women charge premium prices, release the fear of money, and create first-class lives. Her book, Lucky Bitch and Get Rich, Lucky Bitch and Chillpreneur give a fresh and funny roadmap to living a life of abundance without burnout. And her money bootcamp has helped over 6,000 students from all around the world. She is a lazy introvert, something I could totally get behind, a Hay House author, and an unbusy mother of 3. She owns a rose farm, which I was like, I want a rose farm. And lives by the beach in sunny Australia. By the way, like her interview, we were so unused to doing an interview at night because we had to coordinate it with Australian time zones. But she looked all bright and sunny, and I was here like with the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody lighting because I have no lighting in my office. So we hope you enjoy our interview with Denise.
Hey, all, Bree here, and I wanted to share one of my favorite gifts to give during the holiday season, a Storyworth book. It is the most amazing gift ever. Storyworth is an online service that lets you create a special and unique gift of someone's story. I've given Storyworth books to both of my parents, and it has been their favorite gift, hands down. And did I mention it is so easy? Storyworth emailed my parents questions every week that I handpicked from their massive list of questions that they have. All my parents had to do was open their email and answer them. That easy. I asked my dad questions like, did you have any rules that you set for yourself as a parent, which you immediately broke? And he did. I even asked both of my parents, are you more like your mom or your dad? And they shared a lot of really amazing qualities that I didn't know about my grandparents at the time. Then at the end of the year, Storyworth compiles all of their answers, puts them into this gorgeous book that covers everything. My parents love showing us their books, and I personally love getting a chance to read them. With Storyworth, I am giving those I love a thoughtful and personal gift from the heart that preserves their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/NGM and save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/NGM to save $10 on your first purchase.
We're hitting that time of year where my brain gets so overloaded in December that I look for anything to make life easier. And I have to say, Brie, that Green Chef is one of those services.
Yes, Green Chef is there to take away the dreaded, oh my goodness, what are we going to eat for dinner tonight? You can eat clean all holiday long with over 80 weekly meal options each week, featuring things like quick and easy, protein-packed, calorie-smart, or my personal favorite, the keto options.
And you don't have to lose track of healthy eating habits during the holidays because every Green Chef customer gets a free session with one of their registered dietitians who can walk you through how to make clean eating work for you, which is very cool.
And I have to say that I have been loving their recipes lately. They put things together I have never thought of. This week we're trying the lemon basil caper pork with sauteed cauliflower, bell peppers, almonds, and feta cheese, my favorite. Their recipes make it so easy to support my wellness goals without skipping on flavor.
For Green Chef's best deal of the year, get $250 off with code NGM250 at greenchef.com/NGM250. That's greenchef.com/NGM250. And don't forget to use that code NGM250 to get $250 off.
Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
This episode is brought to you by Eat at Home Meal Plans. Oh my gosh, if dinner is causing you so much stress like it was me, I heartily recommend Eat at Home Meal Plans. I started using them 2 years ago, and what happens is you get to choose a meal plan each week. You get to choose from traditional or slow cooker, whole food, or flour-free, sugar-free. They're all included, and it gives you the list of meals to eat. It gives you a grocery list. I just used to print out the grocery list and give it to my husband, and he'd do the shopping. And all the meals are really easy. Like, I just started one downstairs today, which is like a lemon chicken and sauerkraut, which took me like 10 minutes to put in the crock pot, and now we're going to have dinner tonight. So go try Eat at Home Meal Plans. You can sign up at noguiltmom.com/eat-at-home. And you also get 25% off when you use the discount code NOGUILTMOM, all one word. And now on with the show. You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom Podcast. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom Podcast, Denise. We are so excited to have you here.
I'm excited. And you know what? I love podcasts with two hosts. I think it is so much fun. And I know we're going to have a good chat today.
It is fun. We get to like banter off each other. And I feel like we feed each other more. And then it feels like we're just a group of like friends hanging out and like chatting.
Yes, I love it. Like Joanne and I have been best friends for years. So it's the best thing you can do, doing a podcast with one of your best friends and getting to talk to amazing people from all over the world. It's fantabulous.
So Denise, I was saying before, like I found you through just Audible. Your book was recommended, Get Rich Lucky Bitch. And I listened to it. I devoured it. I loved it so much that our membership community of moms, we did it as a book club. And it just, you have such great advice for conquering like your money blocks and things holding you back. So for those of our audience who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Of course. So first of all, I just want to say how surreal that is that I wrote a book and that the technology allowed it to go out to people on the other side of the world. And then you read it. And I just want to say it because it is so weird. And it's such an amazing time for women where we can use our creativity and we're supported by the technology now. You know, I used to write little stories for my friends and family on my typewriter. And it's, you know, like we just live in this world where we can podcast from home. Like, how amazing is this? It's amazing. So I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a money coach for mostly for women. And what that means is I'm not a financial advisor. I don't help people with their investments. I help people with their mindset around money. So dealing with their fears and beliefs and stories that hold them back from just having a joyful relationship with money so they can be, do, and have everything that they want. And I have a money boot camp with people from all around the world, I think over 7,000 now. And I live in a smallish town in Australia, but I run this global business thanks to the power of technology. So as I said, I'm so grateful that for women, we have all of these opportunities. And for mothers, we have these opportunities to live our business dreams, be able to help people, be able to live creative lives and have the technology to support us. So I'm super grateful.
You're totally right on that because I feel the same way about technology. Like I used to be a teacher and I knew that I could not, I did not want to have two kids at home and have the job in the classroom and like have to do sub plans and whatever. And the technology has given me a way to connect with people and have a business where I could never have dreamed this possible like 10 years ago. And like things have just moved so fast. So
did you manifest
amazing.
The pandemic, Joanne?
Did I?
You know how I feel like we're all kind of saying, you know, I wish we had a bit more, we could slow down a little bit, or some people were wishing to work from home. And, you know, it's obviously there's been so much tragedy around it. And the only real silver lining is that so many people have looked for different ways of doing their work, doing their business. And, you know, we can't ever go back from that. We've known now, and even just friendships that people have created online because they're online all the time now. You know, there are some tiny blessings, and I know America in particular has been hit one of the hardest. So yeah, thank God we've got this technology. Imagine back when the big pandemic happened, you know, 100 years ago, we would have just been like, great, I guess, what do we do?
Not many options there. So in your book, and talking about like manifesting, you consider yourself a very lucky person, like, and have just some crazy stories around your luck. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, you know what? I actually never considered myself a lucky person, but I was raised by a mom who she would always just say, you know, lucky things are going to happen. And they would, like, she would win money on the, we call them poker machines in Australia, but you know, like the slot machines, I think you guys call them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like she would, you know, she'd be down to her last dollar and she would win $5,000 on the slot machine, or she would play bingo. And so we lived this kind of very feast or famine life in lots of ways, but she was always convinced that she was a very lucky person, that good things were going to happen to her. And they often did, and they still do actually. But I didn't consider myself lucky at all. But I read a book in my early 20s called The Luck Factor by Richard Wiseman, I think his name is. And it talked about the trait of lucky people versus unlucky people. And the only thing I remember from the book is that he invited people to come to do a study on, and so he was like, are you a lucky person? Are you an unlucky person? And then the researchers hid money outside of the center to see who would find the money, if anyone would find the money. And overwhelmingly, people who self-identified as lucky found the money that was still there, and the unlucky people didn't seem to see it. And so we broke it down into a few traits, and it was like, you believe that good things happen to you, you look for opportunities, you take it, you know, you actually take action on opportunities, and you build your own opportunities through through networking and things like that. And so I was like, well, okay, if that's how lucky people naturally are, could I learn some of this? Like, could I reverse engineer it and learn to be a lucky person? And so I did this experiment for a year, and really crazy things did happen. I was winning scholarship. I won a life coaching scholarship. I would win the Lucky Door Prize at every event I went to. And I played bingo for the first time in my life. I would win at bingo. And then I won this trip to go all around the world, all expenses paid for 6 months. And so I talk about this in my book, Lucky Bitch, about how it wasn't really luck. Like, some of it was, you can't, reverse engineer winning at bingo, for example, but I was putting myself into opportunities where I would have a greater chance of good things happening to me. And when I decided that I was going to pretend to be a lucky person, it does something in your brain where you go, well, I'll put myself forward for that, or I won't give up because it's meant to be. And so anyway, that's what my first book, Lucky Bitch, is all about, is how you can reverse engineer and be a quote unquote lucky person.
Oh, so what I hear you're saying is that it's not really luck so much as it is believing that the good things will happen. So you put yourself in those situations, and then it's more likely to happen.
And you're more inclined to take action on it.
I could totally get behind that. Yes, because sometimes like luck, you're like, I have no control over luck. But when you say it that way, I'm like, I think I could do that.
I love that. I think it just built on that whole optimistic, like you have that optimistic mindset. I'm going to make good things happen. I've had a couple of incidents in my life where I do believe that I manifested something very positive, that it happened because I believe. So I do believe very much in this whole, you put good vibes out there, you let the universe know that you're open to it, that good things can come back your way.
And this is something that we can all teach our kids, but it starts with something that every single mum I've ever met does this one thing that really sabotages their kids. Do you want to hear what it is?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Every single birthday party you've ever been to in your life, they say, blow out the candles, make a wish, but don't tell anyone or it won't come true. Don't tell anyone, but it won't come true. So when I just said to you before, I won 6 months all expense paid travel around the world, it's like, oh yeah, cool. She must have done something. I set an intention that I wanted to go traveling around the world. I wanted to go for 6 months. I wanted to find someone to pay me to do it. I told all of my friends about that goal, every single one of my friends. And all of my friends were like, okay. But one of my friends, it's stuck in her brain. And so she saw an advertisement for a competition, a travel competition, and she sent it to me. That was the only way I found out about that competition, because I told her my dream. And so we've got to stop telling kids this, because when you tell people your dream, when you enroll them in your dream, you're setting up all of these connections where you're increasing your chances of opportunity. Because how are people supposed to know to send you that dream job, to think of you when they see an unbelievable opportunity? And I didn't realize how deeply embedded this was into our lives until I had my own kids, and I said it to them, and then I went, oh, great, stuff it back in. No. And so I say, hey, in our family, we do tell each other our dreams. And so we can all stop doing that from day one.
Yeah, I think right there, not only about the importance of putting it out in the universe, I think that that's a really great point of connection. We share our dreams. We talk about everything in the family. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
I like that, but it's like, you're right. It's one of those things like we're told not to talk about. We're told not to talk about our dreams. And we're also told not to talk about money. And
Yep.
it becomes like those two issues. And that's why when I was reading Get Rich Lucky Bitch, and you were identifying these money blocks that people have, like, honestly, when I first started, I'm like, I don't have money blocks. Like, what is it? But then when you went into it, I'm like, oh, I have all the money blocks. So can you share some of those money blocks are? My son is playing a game right now on his computer where he's a thief and the cops are after him. So I'm so excited about this new app, Give As We Grow, where instead of being the quote unquote bad guys, kids are practicing giving back.
That is so cool, Joanne. I really wish that there was something like this when my kids were younger that got them excited about giving back to others and helped them build a better understanding of what it really means to volunteer.
Give As We Grow is the first of its kind free educational mobile app for children ages 8 to 11 that teaches kids via fun, service-focused minigame quests to tap into their unique talents and interests to help others.
And did you know that studies show that there is a biological connection between generosity and happiness, and that volunteering improves people's physical and mental health? I mean, kids who volunteer typically do better in school and are less likely to engage in risky behaviors. And that is something that I think we all want for our kids.
Ready to spark a new movement in generosity? Find and download Give As We Grow for free in the App Store for Android and iOS. And for resources for the whole family, visit giveaswegrow.org. This message is sponsored by Greenlight. It is so hard to raise kids who know how to manage money. Bree, right now, my kids are all about earning money for presents. My daughter wants to get presents for all of her friends, and my son is doing a Secret Santa with his friends.
Oh, I hear you. And if you're looking to raise kids that are financially responsible, we have got a lifesaver recommendation for you that you need to check out. It is Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families that gives kids and teens an easy and fun way to gain financial literacy, all while giving parents peace of mind.
You can send instant money transfers, automate allowance, and even keep an eye on kids' spending with real-time notifications. Meanwhile, your kids can begin their journey towards financial autonomy by learning how to save, invest, and spend wisely.
So sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/NGM.
That's greenlight.com/NGM to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/NGM.
You know, there are so many, and like every week I come up with new like layers or new nuances to different things. But there's one that we all have that's quite universal, and it is the concept that you have to work really hard to make money, really hard. And, you know, people have different mottos in their family of like, money doesn't grow on trees, or another day, another dollar. And what I love about talking to people from all around the world is that different countries, different cities often have their own relationship with like work ethic and money and all that kind of stuff. But what I find too is that it's just one of those things, again, that comes out of our mouth for our kids. We say to them, hey, if you work hard, you can achieve anything. And it just still sets up that thing of like, well, it can't be easy. It can't be fun. It can't be enjoyable. You have to work hard. So I've even shifted the way I've said that with my kids, because Willow will say, well, I want to be a pop star like Jojo Siwa. And I was like, well, you have to. And I was like, you know what, Willow, if you have a dream and you're persistent, you can achieve anything you want. Because I just want to even take out that like work hard thing out of my vocabulary, because it's not about working hard, but you can't deny you have to be persistent if you want to achieve your dreams. And so it's really fun to look at what everyone's relationship is to working hard. Your parents might have had to have multiple jobs. Your parents might have had a job that they didn't like and they had to go to, or they worked long hours, or they billed long hours. And nowadays, technology means that we can make money not from doing an hour, earning an hour. We can make money from our creativity, from our imagination, from the technology. We can, you know, have clients on the other side of the world. We can work from home. There's so many opportunities, but most of us grew up in a world where it wasn't like that. And so we just haven't quite redefined that for ourselves. But if you ask kids, they'd be like, well, I want to open toys on YouTube. I want to play Minecraft.
They do.
Like they have a completely different thing because they've seen more examples of what it's like to earn money, like in a playful sense. And maybe it's swung a little bit too far sometimes for them. They just think, like with Willow, she's like, I just want to be like Jojo. And I'm like, well, and then this week, it was really rainy and she was like, I don't want to go to ballet. It's too rainy. And I was like, would Jojo Siwa skip a rehearsal? I don't think so. So I think the question for our generation is, how do we instill a work ethic in our kids, but without giving them this money block that we have that's based on old, outdated ways of working?
Yeah. And like, I think work harder too. It works in the opposite direction where it could create burnout. Like when you're working hard and like you're exhausting yourself, but you're not getting the results you want. Sometimes the inner monologue is like, oh, I just need to work harder, but that's not it. That's not it at all. And, it's like sometimes you just need a mind shift. Like I remember in teaching, we were trying to do all the things. And one of my co-teachers was like, you know what? We're doing this the wrong way. We need to stop working harder. We need to work smarter. And ever since like I've been out of the classroom, I've been like, okay, work smarter. But yeah, work harder. Definitely. I could see that as a money block. What's another money block that many people have?
So I see this a lot in women in particular. And it's this feeling that I can help people or make money, but I can't do both. They have to be mutually exclusive. So it's like, well, if I have a job that helps people, I can't charge for it, or it's greedy, or it means that I don't really care or whatever. And sometimes that gets reflected back. People say, well, if you really cared about this, you wouldn't charge for it. And in the meantime, you're burning yourself out trying to do it. And so this comes up, I think it comes up a lot for mums, a lot for women. But then when I look at different professions, so if you're in a teaching profession, if you're in a transformation kind of profession, if you're in a health profession, it can really bring up that feeling of, oh, I'm not allowed to charge. And I actually saw this today. There's someone who was on my Instagram and she's a sex therapist. And it's like, that's such an important job, it's so important. And for couples, and she was like, I just feel so bad because people need me so much. And it's like, well, don't assume that people, one, don't want to pay and can't pay for it. And when you charge well for what you do, it buys back some time and energy. And then you could create a book version to help so many people around the world. You could create a course, an online course for people who need that. Or you could say, you know what, I'll see 5 pro bono clients a month. But you can't do that when you're undercharging everybody and burning yourself out. I also think the help people make money thing, it's really about feeling like you have to choose. And this is where mums come in, right? It's like, I could make money or I could be a good mum, but I can't be both. I could make money and have love, but I can't have both. And then you see people sabotage themselves. Their business will start to do really well, and their relationship breaks down. So they go, or they feel like they're going to be a bad mom, and so they sabotage their business. So it's really this thinking of binary choice. I can't help people and make money. That would just be greedy, or that would be something, I don't know, bad, unethical.
It's a hard thing, particularly I started in the world of like mom bloggers, and that is very pervasive there, where you don't want to charge for anything because you think that you'll look greedy, or you'll look like that you're not selfless. You're not like,
you don't care.
You don't care about people. Yeah. And so that's a huge hurdle. And I know Bree, you have a story about the undercharging and.
Oh, well, yeah, I was going to say, you're bringing up a lot here. There was a point in time where I had my own business and I felt so guilty for charging people. And the business did not do well. It did not feed. I could never manage to bring in enough money to keep it going and I did have that. People would constantly come to me and be like, well, if you really cared about helping parents, you wouldn't be charging me for this. And I'm like, I still got to feed my kids. I still got to take care of things too. So you're right. The whole time you're talking, I'm just sitting here shaking my head going, I 100% feel that guilt. And I know that not valuing ourselves enough is a huge thing that moms do. We underestimate our value on so many levels. It's scary.
I saw this a lot in the mum blog world, especially when, mummy blogs were really getting big. And I saw people who it just started out as a casual thing. And then suddenly it's gotten bigger and bigger where they have to pay moderators or they've got more expenses to run this business. And so they say something like, hey guys, I've got this $10 thing, and their audience turned on them and it was vicious to watch. And so I think it's okay, as a business to offer things right from the start, because if you build an audience where people don't value you and they're just freebie chasers, they will absolutely, even if it was $1, they would turn on people. And it was really horrible to watch.
Mm-hmm. I've had friends who have gone through that exact thing, and it is horrible to watch. So you talked about 2 money blocks, the working hard and then that you can't help people and make money at the same time. What is one last money block that we could tell people about?
Okay, so the overarching thing is more money, more problem. And everyone's got their own version of what this is. So it's that thing that you worry about before you go to bed when you can't sleep, or in those moments where you just think, oh, I would love to make more money, and I would love to hear what it comes up for you guys. So I'll share a couple for me. One, I was like, people won't like me. If I make too much money, I won't be likable. I won't be down to earth anymore. I'll lose my resilience and my, humility. The other one for me, which is funny because I'm looking out the ocean, I was like, I can't get too rich because if I have a big house by the ocean, there'll be a tsunami. and it was just one of those things.
Bad things happening.
Yes. And so everyone's got their own thing of like, my kids will be spoiled or my relationship will break down or something. And so it's that feeling of like, I want it, but I don't want all the bad stuff that I think is going to come with that. So I would love to hear an example from each of you of where you think that more money, more problems comes in.
Oh, I'll just throw it there. Like, I daydream all the time about winning the lottery. And then when I'm daydreaming about winning the lottery, my money is gone in a second because I'm like, oh, I want to buy a house for myself. And then, oh, I want to buy this for my sisters. And I would want to do this for my dad and my mom. And, oh, I want to do this for my kids. And all of a sudden I have no money left. And it's all my imagination too.
It's all, yeah.
So, yeah.
You get it and you spend it in your imagination.
Joanne knows me. This is how I work. Like everything, like my kids mess up on like one thing and all of a sudden it's 20 years later and they're living in a van down by the river. Like I can, it goes quickly.
Do you get angry at the hypothetical people asking you for money? Do you get angry about it?
I do. So
you're like, I bought my sister a house and she wasn't even grateful. And your sister's like sitting there going, what are you talking about?
And then the other sister wants to know where her house is. How did this happen?
Oh my goodness. That's a lot. That's with me, like I feel like if I got more money, people would think I didn't deserve it. That it would have been like, oh, you didn't work hard for that. Like, it was just luck that you got that. But not having luck is a good thing. Being like, oh, you didn't deserve it. I don't know.
I get it.
Or if I'm normal about that.
No, I think that's an interesting one. I mean, some other ones are like, it will be a fluke, or I won't be able to stay in it, or I'll have to pay lots of taxes, or
I have all those as well.
I won't have my, I'll lose all my friends, or it's all this stuff. And so the thing though, I think is good about this is that we have amazing imagination. And if we can just channel that imagination into creativity instead of pre-worrying about things, and you can just redirect your thoughts to it. And my daughter, she's a bit of a worrier as well, and she would think about things, and I would say to her, hey, look, every time you have that thought, say to your brain, that would be an amazing book. How creative. That would be an amazing TV show, but not have to internalize it of like, oh, that's going to happen to me, or that's, that will happen if I even, and because it's not even about when that will happen. It's like, if I even just send out one invoice, before I know it, Oprah will be calling me and I'll have to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go and be on the Oprah show. And then she's going to hate me because I'll screw it up. And, it's like, just do the one thing. Don't let it spiral into this more money, more problems, like creative thing. Just go, wow, you're so creative. That's amazing. And park it.
That's funny. If Oprah called me and wanted me to get up at 3:30, I'd be like, yes, Oprah, I'll be there.
I'd do it for one day, but every day.
Every day. That's hilarious. There's just so many blocks, so many money blocks holding back, and so much stuff. Like I recommend your book highly because you also have a money block in there about going back to your childhood and figuring out like the money messages that you got in your childhood. And when I did that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like so many of these things about like not wanting to buy expensive items because they're like a ripoff and not worth it. That I get hit with all the time by myself, and it stemmed from there. So totally recommend your book. Go out and get Rich Lucky Bitch. And we ask this of everyone. What is one hack, your favorite hack to make kids more self-sufficient?
That is such a good question. It is benign neglect.
It's actually something that we do suggest.
Say fair parenting style. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. Like, and I think my inspiration behind this, my grandfather was just like, he would just come home and he'd be like, it's my TV time now. Like, I'm not going to do squat. And so he's my inspiration. I just outsource everything. And then I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. I just say that all the time. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
I think that's a great like boundary setting thing too, because not many people do that. And just having that example for you, I mean, gosh, I want to channel you when I am asked to do something. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
I know.
I just want to practice that.
We could both work a little more on the whole, like, no, done.
Yeah. And like my hubby sometimes looks at me because he probably does a bit too much for the kids, and he'll just go, what? And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, because his mum was the opposite. His mum did everything for them, and she's kept every piece of paper they've ever written on and everything, and so when he was married to me, and I was just like, I'm not going to do that. He was just like, at first. And now I'm the same with the kids. I'm like, you can figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a great way, I think, to make kids self-sufficient for sure. Well, this has been a blast, Denise. Thank you so much for joining us and making it work with our time differences.
What a pleasure. I hope you can have me back because there's so many things we can talk about. Like, I honestly think we could have a 2-day conference just on talking about allowance and like that brought up for all of us. Like the money blocks we have around getting allowance or not getting allowance as a kid. We could just talk solely on that. So, there's so many pieces and it's an ongoing process, but I hope it's opened up some things for people to listen to about, like, there's a lot of complex stories and situations that have happened to you and you just have to look at them all and connect the dots. And it's an ongoing process that I think is really fun. So hopefully other people think it's fun too.
For sure. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Absolutely loved Denise. She was so much fun, and it sounds like she's up to doing a few more episodes too.
I know. I love it. I've never actually had anybody like pitch in an episode, but that was phenomenal. Like, I can't wait to talk about allowances.
Yes, we are definitely gonna bring her back for allowances. So until next time, remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by. Are you looking for something to listen to with your whole family? Then check out 6 Minutes, produced and created by Gen Z Media. With over 200 twisty, cliffhanger-filled episodes, 6 Minutes tells the story of 11-year-old Holiday, who is pulled from the icy waters with no memory of who she is or where she came from.
3 years ago, Brinley Pasternak helped the Anders family uncover the truth about Holiday's past. Now she'll need them to help her find the truth about hers. In 6 Minutes Out of Time, the long-awaited sequel, Cyrus Anders is found unconscious near the mysterious Elixir Academy in Florida, and Brinley learns the school may have a shocking connection to her missing mother.
Dive in now and get the most downloaded family audio adventure in history. Follow 6 Minutes wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free with the GZM family subscription.